Welcome back everybody to my channel. Hi, I'm the Blade, your personal mining guru, and today I'm gonna show you the first rock which I cracked solo in new 4.7 patch with these all new changes. And to not waste too much your time, let's go straight into it. This is our rock and it's around 66 tons with both Quantainium ores go around 72% together, right? So this is what we're mining today. Because Mole is now gold standard, we have this big cargo elevator, right? And this is my setup, what I have. Few mining heads, two bikes, and two 1SU crates. So I have two, one on each other, because it's require less space to have this than like two SU box laying on the floor, right? So this is better setup like this, because I'm, taking with me the whole store when I'm mining, because this is how you do professional mining, right? You need to have everything with you. You're not having just few things. So whatever I need, I can just take, right? This is how this is done. And now we have Helix size 2 mining head. We have already two surges here with one focus 3, but I'm gonna remove focus because for this, that's the highest possible mass what you can crack with this percentage. So you need to use, like always before, three surge modules on the Helix size 2 mining head. And now we need to place Sabir gadget on the rock. So this rock is 66 tons, but it's 70, almost 2% of all Quantainium ore inside. And because of that, this is like some maximum what you can do with this percentage of quant inside. If this percentage was higher, then rock's supposed to be a little bit smaller, few tons, to be able for you to crack it. This is how this works, right? Higher percentage of quant, less size of rock, because now these resistances are going through the roof, right? So on this rock, resistance was almost 81%, I think, over 80, with over 70% of Quantainium inside. So this is huge resistance. And that's why now in this 4.7 patch and further in the future, we can break little bit smaller rocks because percentage of quant or some other ore is goes much higher than 50%. Now we are back in our mining seat in front one where it's the Helix size 2, and now we're gonna try to crack this rock. And like I said before, this resistance was going very high, but now we normally reduce it with the Sabir gadget, and we're gonna reduce it more with each surge module for minus 16%. So you see now it's dropping under 20%, it's 70%, but instability is very high. So basically this goes almost 1000. So this is where this is very tricky, right? I was mining already 1000 instability, almost, like 900 and something. So this is going also here now so high. You see it 981, I think it says, yeah. And what I'm trying to look for is this sweet spot for more unstable mining. So rocks never in history of Star Citizen was having sweet spots where you can get more power, right? That never existed, but it's always existing sweet spots where it's rock more unstable, and this can help you in mining when you almost have enough power but it's just missing a tiny bit more, that tiny push to actually be able to rise it up into green optimal window. But it's two sides of this. This can go very wrong, especially if you're mining with team and you need to push huge instabilities which going over 1000, and you can very easily overheat that if you find with multiple lasers these sections of the rock which has bigger instability. And you see me now here, I'm gonna tiny bit overheat on the end. and now it breaks, right? So it was not 100% perfect, but it was just barely visible overheating on that bar, so it was pretty good. And with all this, what I'm gonna collect, I basically gonna just lose around 2 SU, right? Because this rock, what you're seeing here, it's supposed to give me around 21 SU of ore, right? And I'm gonna collect around 18, around that number. So this is very good. But now we have other problems. So you can see here that we have 100% pure pieces with 13, 14 tons, right? So now it's a question, what is the best to use for this, and what could possibly break these parts? Because these parts, again, you see, if I'm mining with Helix, it's such a tiny green zone, right? And to break this with Helix, you need to put 2 surge modules and 1 focus. If I put 1 focus, I will have enough power with 2 surges, but the green zone is gonna be very, very minimal, like very tiny. And if I put only 1 surge, even with Helix, you cannot break this 13, 14, 15k rock if it's 100% pure Quantainium inside, right? This is something that I know most of you guys didn't mine in the big quantities before. I did, so I know how this goes. But now if you're gonna be breaking these Quantainium rocks, because they're going over 50% in the rock, you know, when you find a rock inside in these high percentages, now many times you're gonna see these 100% pieces much more often. And because of that, resistance is through the roof again, even if it's smaller piece. And even if you're using Helix, even with 1 surge, this will not even move. So this type of rocks require 2 surge modules, but if you're using Helix and you're using just 1 focus, you're gonna have very tiny green zone, and you can see that here. So we're using 2 focuses and 1 surge, and you see it's not going. That's not a very good example, right? So if I put 2 surge, it will be go, but this green zone would be 1 time smaller. And you can see instability is still like 150, which is pretty high on these smaller pieces, because they're 100% pure. So this is what is happening now. You're gonna have much more often these rocks with 100% pure Quantainium percentage, and now you need to know what to use. So what we're going to use now is the hosted laser. And now I'm gonna show you something what you guys can do. I already showed that long time ago in one video. It's not recommended, right, if you're not good with this, but I'm gonna show you that this is possible. So I have 2 focuses on this hosted laser. I'm taking one off, and it's the second one up. So you need to understand that you cannot take this second one when laser head is up from this position. But it's a way to do it, and it's a little bit tricky, but you guys gonna see now what I'm doing. So I just take one focus away, so only 1 module second focus is equipped. So it's making weight on one side, right? This is all, logical thing, what we're doing here. And because of that weight, I'm gonna try to place it somehow where it's not gonna, move so much, and very quickly remove the focus and grab the mining, right? So this can be done normally. Easier is just to land, go out, equip everything. Because even if your mining head now falls down, it's not watered down or some hole, right? You can still take it and put it on. You're just wasting time, right? But I want to show you like how you should place this thing. See, now I did it, and I'm grabbing this thing. So for some reason, in this area where you're looking now out, things are not falling so fast down. So if this is bug, or it's because of some changes, I don't know, or because the atmosphere of Lyria is different, because we're mining on Lyria here. It was not this mining head falling so fast, so I could actually grab it pretty quickly, right? And now it's no problem to equip surge modules back on. And this right one you can also equip, even if you don't see the slot, you're gonna see attachment signed, and just release it. You see attaching, and then it's gonna attach you up. And now we can mine this thing, and now you're gonna see that with hosted, with 2 surge modules, this will go. Unfortunately, we cannot do that anymore with just 1 surge, because in 4.6 patch and before, till 15 tons it could go, you know, with hosted and 1 surge. And then I was using lifeline module to reduce instability into green. And that was perfection in mind, right? So now, unfortunately, if you want to achieve that, you need to go out from the ship and you need to equip gadgets, you know, like wave shift, let's say, at least. That would be the best option, right? So now this is all changing, and this is how it works. And you see now I can easily break. It's going like on 3/4 of the full power, so I can still break a little bit bigger rock with that, right? But what that means, little bit bigger, is not over 20 tons. So we are going to keep cracking these smaller pieces now, and after that I'm gonna start collecting. So this is one more thing what you guys need to understand now. Because we have this small amount of ore which we're pulling out, you don't have to think too much about filtering, you know, inert materials or what you're gonna actually collect. You can just keep collecting, you know, you don't have to even scan, especially when you mine Quantainium. If you mine something what has higher quality for crafting, and not because we're mining Quant for selling it, right, for money. We're not doing it for crafting, at least not yet. So we don't need this like higher grade. We just collect everything so we can make money of it, you know, not for crafting. If you keep collecting, it's gonna be like maybe, let's say, 20 SU, 25. So you still have, you know, 3/4 of the space in your mob. So you don't have to think about that too much, right? So only for high grades, if you're not mining Quant, then you scan everything just to collect the higher grades, highest grades, right? Because you need it for crafting, right? Then this is a different story. But here you don't have to. So now even after you break all this, just keep collecting, you know, you don't have to scan piece and collect and scan. So this is what is different in 4.7, right? Is this amount of ore what you're getting, so you don't have to bother yourself too much if it's gonna be better ore or less ore, right? And even these parts which are like 7%, which you just see right now, a few moments ago, it's no point to crack. If you really want to do it, right, collect this all, but it's gonna be basically almost nothing to collect. So now what we have here, it's, you see, it's almost 10 tons mass. It's almost pure, it's like 86%. But you see on this type of piece, I can use just 1 surge. You can see it now on the left side. Right, so already equip it. I didn't show you this equipping, unequipping, because you already guys see it once, you have to see it 3-4 times. So we're gonna reduce this window size. I'm gonna, you know, waste your time. But now for this type of rock till 10 tons, it's enough 1 surge on Hofstad, right? So this is how it goes, right? But unfortunately, if you see it on instabilities, they're all in red, you know. It's not too hard to hold this, but it's supposed to, you know, you're supposed to reducing it into green numbers, right? That's the efficiency mining. But we're not gonna lose so much, like I said. It's gonna be like 2-3 SU lost in this entire rock. So this part is very bad. See, it's like 35% quant and 5% on the higher grade. It's like 40%, but it's still good to take because we have so much space that you don't have to even think about, if you're gonna have enough space or not. You're always gonna have enough space. And with Quantainium, so it was time in PTU when timer was off. So people were think that this is gonna be changing, in the new patch 4.7, that we don't have this timer anymore. But that was just bug. So the timer is back here and it still works like before. And now I'm collecting what I break, but now we're gonna see that I'm not done with breaking yet. So the best piece is here, and it's almost 22 tons. So because of that piece, even with hosted with 2 surge modules, this will not go. So now is the time to go out of ship and actually place severe gadget on that piece. And then you're gonna have enough power. So this piece from all these pieces that I mine is the best one. It's the biggest one. It's pure Quantainium inside, and it's the most percentage of quant, right? So what you see me here, I'm just dropping down surge to spend it full, not on the rock. So I can equip 2 surges again from inside, right? But I'm gonna try that again to try to push with only 2 surges, right? So I already equipped it and I'm gonna show you that again to not waste your time. And you see now I'm gonna just put them, turn them on just once and see if it's going, right? And 100% power with hosted with 2 surges, it's not moving. So this is not that problem, because percentage of quant is full 100% and resistance is just too big, You need drop in the resistance to be able to crack. And now I already put the severe gadget, and normally I'm not gonna, show you all that to reduce the video size. And now you're gonna see the difference. So you see, with 70% of power, with severe gadget on the rock, and 2 surges on hosted laser, now this is possible to put. So yeah, like impact laser would be a better option because the overall instability would be 20% less. That's the truth, and that's why impact is great. But impact has 40% difference between host weight and impact in reduction in resistance. So that would be very questionable if that rock you'll be able to push. With 3 surges, yes, on impact. But then it's better option to have bigger green zone on hosted and doing with 2 surges, so you're not wasting one more surge for that, right? And normally, you're putting the severe gadget, so your actual green zone is gonna be even 50% bigger than just with hosted. And this is pretty safe, but you still need to be extremely careful to push this charge bar as slow as possible, not as fast as possible, because otherwise you can risk, even with big green zone, to your charge bar jump into full red. So don't rush. Time in mining, it's not important, because all this what you're gonna save is 5 minutes. You're not gonna save 20 or 30 minutes in mining. So don't think about that. And one more thing what I'm gonna show you here, so I already was showing that in previous videos, how you can with big tractor beam, big multi-tool, take gadgets from the floor, right? Because you can repair gadgets now, and you could do it also in previous patch with SRT multi-tool, and they're reusable. So don't leave them down there, because this big multi-tool can reach 100 meters, and we are on like 50, 60, see where the Sabir is. And I can just take it inside. I can repair it. So I'm gonna also do that. Always repair it, if you think if it's a little bit damaged before you're putting it in your backpack. And this is how you can, reuse it, and you don't have to buy new ones, because it's still working, right? Modules you cannot repair still, but you can do repairing of gadgets. Now we are finally in the refinery, so we're gonna refine this Quantainium, what we have. And just, for information, the maximum amount of ore, Quantainium ore, which is supposed to be in the um, that rock, it's supposed to be 22 SU. And you see here we have like 18 SU, around 18 with both ores. So we lost like around 3.5 to 4 SU, right? So this is what we lost. And it's pretty efficient, right? Maybe we could lose 2 SU less, right? But this is what we get. And now you can see I'm here showing like ore which 745 quality, right? That's the highest. And also later that day I'm gonna have like around 800 quality, right? But I think we still don't have where we can use where we could use these, high qualities for Quantainium. So we're basically mining these for making money, let's say, right? For testing. And after refinement, we get like around 8.5 ACU, around that, right? So this is what you're gonna be able to pull out with these maximum size rocks with solo mole mining, till maximum around 10 ACU after refinement. So this is how this mining works right now in 4.7 patch. So guys, this is how you mine this, this top, high mass of Quantainium rocks. We could still mine like 70 tons, maybe plus, but not 80% of Quantainium inside. It needs to be it needs to be under 50, right? Then it's possible, because if it's going over 50, like now in this new patch, it's just too high resistance, to break something bigger. Everything depends about the percentage of Quantainium inside the rock, how much bigger or smaller mass you can crack. This is all from me, guys. And if you guys want to learn to mine and you have a lots of questions and you want to directly be present, when I'm mining and I can directly teach you, you can always join to mine Java Scrap Mining Corp SC Discord, and link is in description under the video. We can mine together, and it's no problem to explain everything, no matter how many people it is and how many people want to join. I'm doing that always for free. I'm not, charging that like, some people do. Because, if you're new to the Star Citizen, then you don't have, income yet. You're starting with basically nothing. So the knowledge is supposed to be for free and not to make money of it. I already have one footage where we were doing some team mining, some rock, like over 100 tons Quantainium rock. So you guys gonna see that, how this is mined with 3 lasers. And I hope that's gonna be pretty soon. So for now, this is all. And like always, guys, if you think this whole video was very interesting and informative, please like, share this to other players so they can also learn, and normally subscribe to my channel for more content. See you next time, guys. Bye bye.